Hey guys, Legendaguiga here, and this is the second tier list that I'm going to be doing. So two updates of Annihilation have come out recently, and so I wanted to go ahead and get into another tier list here because lots of things have changed. There are 11, I think 11 class changes and a new class. So this time I've joined with two special guests. So I'm going to introduce to you NotSwipe
Hello?
and someone from the EU community, NlegendaryAlex.
Hey!
And so today we're going to just talk about basically where all the classes fall on the balance. So first I would need to explain the tiers real quick also so that the two that are with me can understand them very well also. So SS is basically if you choose this class you will achieve your goal or win no matter what at this point. There's really no class in SS anymore, so we're not going to worry about it. S plus is the next step below. There are maybe one or two classes that fit into this at the moment, but they are basically top of the list. Your first pick for classes that you want to buy. S tier is kind of like S plus, but usually people will go below S plus if their class that they like in the S plus tier doesn't do a certain situation for them. So S will help them with that. A plus is more of a counter pick type of deal at the moment. They basically do almost the same thing as S, but they fulfill different things, and they're not as effective, but they're still better than average.
Yeah, definitely
A,
more situational with A+.
yes. Uh,
Exactly.
A is balanced. B plus is slightly below balance. B is you're setting yourself up for failure in the near future. And C is basically you almost have no way to win. There's only a few situations where these classes work. And then D tier is completely useless, does not work in any situation whatsoever. Even
Literally unplayable.
unplayable. All right. So I'm going to start off with Acrobat, and then we can just discuss how each class works. So Acrobat, I'm going to put in the S tier because it is extremely safe. It has lots of mobility, lots of killing potential, and it plays the easiest at the moment. So what do we think?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's pretty straightforward, and if you're a new player, Acrobat's probably your best bet. I think it's always been that way, always been one of the safest classes to choose and just standard, high mobility, and you have range too with the arrows, so honestly, it's a good choice.
You do see a lot of people picking up Acrobat nowadays. What I'd like to point out is that all the things from the previous tier list apply here for the most part. Acrobat just so happens to be one of the classes that didn't get much of a change with the update. It just received a new competitor, which is Dasher, and we'll get to that eventually. But for the most part, Acrobat's the same. Alex, do you want to say anything, or? I don't think we can. I can't hear Alex at the moment.
All right, Alex is dead. Moving on.
All right. If Alex gets his stuff back, we will go to him next. So, Alchemist. So Alchemist is, last time I gave it A tier, but this time because of the potions nerf, I'm putting it at B plus because it really doesn't have as much of an impact on the game as it used to. Because, like, you could still get you can get the same potions from doing a boss buff. The only difference is a +3 damage advantage if you decide to go strength 2, which is potion exclusive. But rather than that, I don't think there's anywhere this class can go.
Yeah, I mean, especially with 1.9, like, potions just in general aren't as strong as they used to be. And so, like, Invis pods, by phase 4, you're probably just going to get boss and get an Invis pod. That'll be your best bet.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the only reason you would choose Alchemist is if your team's losing hard, you need an Invis rush, you're trying to finish off another team quickly, and you don't have access to that boss buff.
Right. Like another team's
Not
dominating.
only
I can hear Alex
that,
now.
not only that, also early game when you're trying to pull them, you can also Alchemist.
Yeah. Um, and also, I feel like regen is actually more powerful than strength in this current meta because strength just gives you +3, but regen still basically makes you a tank at this point.
I mean, yeah, and precisely because of the strength nerfs, regen is more viable because people just aren't doing as much damage. So if you're still getting that same regeneration rate, um, with the decreased strength just from other players in general, that regen buff is going to be a lot more.
Yep. Um, so now we're not going to discuss the power of the archer classes yet until we get to the new class. But archer, real quick, I'm going to place an A+. It's honestly higher range A+ at the moment because bows are so effective. I'd say that the biggest factor in this is the new hit detection type of thing. I don't want to go too far into hit detection because it's a kind of a hot topic issue thing with Annihilation at the moment. Lots of people are giving Shoppo crap for it, but like bows are just so much more effective at the moment. You can also offhand
Yeah.
them, which makes it a bigger deal if you're playing archer.
So
That is true.
hitboxes, range hitboxes at least, I think generally are bigger. So more people getting hit by arrows, and more power from those arrows. So
Yeah.
overall, just archer's nice.
Archer's always OP.
Yeah.
There's really never been a time when it wasn't.
Yeah,
Really
its early
good.
game is too great, but we'll talk more about that later. So this is a class that Alex would really like. Assassin's next.
Yes.
I would like to say that Assassin is effective when it is effective, but for now I'm going to put it in A tier. Like,
Yeah, it's balanced.
straight
I
up
think.
balanced. It's effective when it's effective. There's a lot of risk going into using the class, and I'm not sure what else to say. You can get lots of damage, but if they're defending, then really good luck, you know?
I mean, yeah, it has its strengths, it has its weaknesses. In open territory, it's not as great, but rushing, of course, assassin rushing has always been big. I think the biggest thing is all the defensive classes do really well even against assassins. Like you can pretty much find an assassin very
Mercenary.
easily if there are defenders, especially mercs too.
The
Yeah,
new Mercenary ability is extremely good for Assassin, as well
Yes.
as the Immobilizer. Actually,
I agree.
I don't think the Immobilizer can find him, actually, until he's uninvis, because I've seen it happen before.
yeah,
Wait,
exactly. But like when there are no defenders, when there is no one there, assassin is like one of the best. I mean,
You
of
can do
course, like
massive
when there's no defenders, any class is good, but
I think that
assassin is exception.
on some open nexuses, I've actually found use getting past Immobilizer defenses, because they apparently just can't hit you while you're in the middle of Assassin, or of the Leap, for some reason. I just don't understand why. But I've gotten free damage from that. So like it's really good for finishing off teams.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Everyone uses Assassin these days.
Yep. So I'm gonna go to the next one. So the next one's Bard, and so this is one that I think this is gonna be our first really good discussion, because this is where I'm gonna bring up the other buffs to the classes that have something to do with this. So Bard, I'm putting in B tier. The main reason is because with 2 changes, it got basically overshadowed by other classes. So I think Swipe's the one who played the least of the update. So the Tinkerer can now give you speed 2 for more time than the Bard does. In fact, speed's basically the worst thing that Bard gets, because you leave the radius and then 10 seconds later you don't have it anymore.
Yeah,
Which is
exactly.
kind
Like
of odd.
what reason would you have to play Bard other than Tinkerer for speed? I mean, like I guess the other buffs are alright, but
Tinkerer, you get speed for 45 seconds, and you can refresh the effect whenever. So instead of you have to stand in a Bard's, in the radius of the buff box for a long period of time to refresh it. While Tinkerer, you can do it immediately now.
exactly.
And then the healer, I feel like, overshadows the regen effect because now it's actually a viable class, and people can
Yeah.
take that to mid instead of bard.
Yeah, so I mean, in general, I think they need to find another niche for Bard. Like maybe there's other different buffs that Bard can get or different abilities. But I don't know if the standard like potion effect is working right now. And
At
I
the
think that's
moment,
the main reason why it's in B tier, yeah. Uh,
it's like a 7 block radius, and its 2 debuffs used to be considered the worst out of them because they just it's really hard to get someone to run into it if they hear the music too. Um, but
exactly.
right now, I think it's the class's biggest strength is to just sit there in that 7 block radius and give weakness or slowness to someone. It
Yeah, I
certainly
also
Or maybe blindness.
yeah, maybe that could be an idea. Um,
yeah.
but at the moment, if it's an open map like Amazon or like the ones where the nexuses aren't the very edge of the thing, valleys, skylands, the bard really gets useless there.
Yeah, I also think it's very one-dimensional. I mean, if you go as Bard, all you have is that box. You look at acrobats, they have the bow and their jump ability, or archers with the power bow and their arrow drop. You know what I'm saying?
Yet
Like, there's these classes who have,
the healers have two ways to heal, and then the tinkerer has it even has the books. You know, it has 4 different power pads in the book.
yeah, exactly. So Bard, I think maybe if you give it some more offensive stuff for the player itself, with that side kind of regen ability, so it's more of like kind of like a spread effect. I
Yeah,
definitely think that Bard could be better, and they could add more things to that, make it improve,
increasing
and
the
make
radius
more people
perhaps.
play it.
Or maybe
Yeah. So yeah, go ahead, Al.
maybe some negative changes like negative potion effect, like
Yeah,
mining fatigue. We're also talking about mining.
Mining fatigue would actually be really good because you can place it at mid and keep other players on other teams from mining
yeah. I mean,
diamonds.
there's a lot more stuff you can do with it, and I think if the Bard box had a lot more variety to it too, like maybe nausea, like whatever, just like stuff that's kind of out there, but it has a lot of different things you can use. That would be an interesting because you could have multiple bars, different synergies, all that stuff.
All right, these are some good ideas, but I think we have to cut us off here and go for Berserker, which is the next class. Um, I'm placing it at A, like it was before the Enchanter change. All right, so I think the main reason why I'd place it at A is because you still have to farm stuff to be able to use it correctly, and there's always the risk of dying. I think the main idea of A tier classes is that they're good but with a risk. I think that's really all I gotta say.
Yeah, I mean,
I should get more knockback for longer. I think for Berserker a little.
Yeah, because it increases the damage that you take from it. It's kind of just there. I think I think I use the passive more than anything whenever I think Berserker.
yeah, definitely. Um, the big thing about Berserker right now is I think it's a little better just now because of the strength of bows. So it's definitely a lot easier to get those hearts if you're just going for the bow
Yeah.
route. Um, but the bad thing I see about Berserker is that even in melee, or especially in melee, those extra 5 hearts don't do too much because if you're like outnumbered in melee, the whole point of Berserker is like if he's outnumbered, he can tank some more hits and then fight them back. But with the strength of being outnumbered in the 1.9 update, I think that definitely hurts Berserker a lot. You see what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. With the with regeneration and potion effects though, it could be decently good. I
Yeah,
mean,
for sure.
there are definitely pros and cons, and that's why I feel like it's balanced. I think that's basically it, right?
Yeah, thumbs up for Berserker.
Touched on everything, yeah. A blood mage. So here's something that I've had trouble placing in the past few weeks because I've discovered that defending with it can be decently good because you can reduce people's hearts, but only for a little bit. But for now, I am going to keep it in B tier because you really can't do anything else with it at the moment. The definition of lower tier classes is usually that they don't have many situations that you can use them in. And I feel like Bloodmage fits there because of that. So what do we think here?
I think Bloodmage is good. I mean, it can be good. Again, situational. You definitely need, like, if you're going for those big takedowns, you need other people coordinating with you, like a Merc or an Immobilizer, or both of them. Yeah.
Alex, is there anything you need to say about this one, or can we move on? Alex is not here. All right. Let's just go on to Builder, I guess. These are pretty simple classes to grasp. So Builder, nothing much I really need to say. A+. It's basically, it's essential for the game in a way. You can't just build walls out of wood because people can just break them down easily. You need to make it a little bit difficult for them to get in, but we are seeing a lot of people in the game, especially now, getting the correct tools and being able to just break them down easily. Is that all we got for this one? Or
Yeah, I mean, the thing with Builder is, as time goes on, more people learn how to counter Builder. So, as more people play the game and learn, they learn to, like, bring a shovel with them or bring shears with them. So I think Builder, it's still good and it's still going to be good just because there's no other class like it. But definitely it's going to lose in power over time.
there's
There's
more options coming out. Because you have the spider that has its full, like, you can toggle it now. So spider can get over. Engineer, if there's a buff to that, then that'd be great. There's also the new dasher, which we get to in a few. There's all kinds of endless possibilities to get over walls now.
Yeah. So
Wizard can now moon jump with the freaking whirlwind and have no risk. So there's plenty of things.
But I think Builder shouldn't change actually. I think it should just stay. Just not nerf, not a buff. It's actually
Yeah, it's a pretty good class.
yeah, I like where it stands.
Yeah. All right, so Civvy just goes down to C tier. The only situation I've seen where it works is if you're going to mid at the start of the game and you need to craft armor and a weapon on the go, like straight off. You need to just get a weapon and armor on the go so that you don't die or something. Then I could understand that, but I don't know. Miner just mines the iron blocks way better.
Yeah, I mean, and that's how it should be. Like, Civilian isn't meant to be anything great or anything amazing. It's meant to be a placeholder class, and it's meant to make you want to get other classes and use other classes. So I think Civi is just.
But I feel like that role is kind of broken down because they have the free 3 classes every week that you can just jump in. If they give you Miner for free, there's no reason to play Civilian anymore. If they give you Defender or something, or Scout even, for free, then there's no reason to use Civilian.
Yeah, so I mean, maybe get rid of Civi. That might be the thing.
Honestly, well, here's the thing. There needs to be a consistent class for someone to play. So I feel like Civilian doesn't have any special abilities, but I think the idea with Civilian is that it is the spawn kit class, the one where, like, you get an extra jump start with it.
Exactly.
That's the whole point. But you don't really get a jump start because if you have Lumberjack and Miner, that diminishes both of its properties.
Yeah, I mean,
you can craft furnaces on the go, but you get one with Miner.
Yeah, so it's Civilian. I mean, it's for new players. It's for people who don't have all the other classes, and it's basically like a regular kit. So
Yeah.
I don't know if anything needs to be changed. I don't know if anything should be changed. It's
All right.
just, it is what it is. I mean, and it's not going to be good because all the classes are supposed to be better than civilian. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
for
think they're
battle.
changing it.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
that's good.
All right. So this is going to be really shocking, but I'm putting Dasher at S.
Wait, what? S?
No, I can agree with that, actually.
All right. So here is my reasoning here, because I'm gonna compare Dasher to Acrobat real quick, because I feel like they're like brothers to each other, because Acrobat is really safe. You have a longer cooldown, and it doesn't really cost you anything. You're not gonna be in danger for the most part. While Dasher, you can easily just teleport out of danger. There's the shorter cooldown, but there's more of a penalty to it. And I feel like it's like a more high skill cap version of Acrobat, where like really skilled players can make it work really well, and almost higher than Acrobat in a way. But I feel like Dasher's gonna be like a low range S tier. If there's an S minus, I could put it there. But
Yeah.
like, that's how I feel about Dasher, because there's a lot of possibility with it, but there is some setup to it. You need to get bread, food, whatever, and
No, I agree. Like,
stuff like that.
Yeah, like, honestly, Dasher, if you know how to play it well, it's amazing. Like, you can skip walls, you can skip past people, you know, people can build stuff to block you out, you can skip through that. It does have more of a penalty, and, like, yeah, you can get stuck out in the open with no food and you just get ganked.
At the moment is the most transparent way to pass through walls, because you can shift. You basically activate it through shifting, and it's 25 blocks. So you can get over a 25 block wall while shifting, and the only thing they have to tell is stars coming out. But if they don't see the stars, then you're still shifted no matter what. You can also escape from other people's bases by teleporting to a place outside their nexus zone, which is something really interesting.
So in rushing and, you know,
Escape
and
from
fighting
Pandora, escape from
and escaping
yeah.
and all those things, it's very good. And if you have the right setup, it's very powerful.
Definitely
So,
not a scout, but
yeah.
probably more
The
fun to
scout?
play the scout at the moment.
Definitely.
All right. So next is defender. I'm putting it at A. I think defender is mostly a failsafe, because if you basically get regeneration and you get extra defense early game. So I think the best way to use it is to just use it for killing leather rushers, and if you fail, then you can use your Guardian's Pearl and teleport back and just fight again. That's basically how the class works.
Yep.
It's really good early game, you know. If someone is assassin rushing you and you have defender, you can just use the pearl and you're back.
Yeah.
And it's good
Late
against
game,
witch
the regen
Scorpios.
can tank you out a bit, but not in the best way. Like, you can still die really easily.
Yeah. And that's crucial. Like, those early hits are so valuable. And that's why defender is very good block to that. Because the reason why defender is so good, I think, is because when you block those early hits, that matters so much more in the late game that you don't think of, right? But, like, yeah, the assassin rushes, like all those early game assassin rushes, they actually have a large impact on the late game, on who lives, which team lives and which team doesn't, because of just how targeting goes. Like, you know,
People quitting too.
yeah. So, like, if an assassin takes out like a lot of one teams, like by a lot, I mean like maybe 12 hits. I mean, that may not be a lot, just 12 damage in the early game, compared to the whole scheme of the game. But when it comes to phase 3, phase 4, you know, which team is going to get targeted? It's going to be the one with the lowest nexus health. So that's why defender is very good, and defender is very important.
Now, we will find out later that I feel like this class is overshadowed by some other defensive classes, wink wink. But we'll get to that later.
Mhm.
Alright.
I like the wink wink.
So Enchanter, I'm putting it in S+. This is the class to go if you are looking to buff yourself up and progress through the game quickly. I think basically you compare it to Miner, you compare it to other classes that get you from early to late, and I think it just does the best
It's
out of all
nutty.
of them.
Yeah, it's nutty.
Yep.
Enchanting, especially like, I'm glad did they revert?
Yeah, they
1.0 to
reverted the
1.7
enchanting system.
Good.
So it used to be somewhat of an SS tier class because you can get full prot 4 armor before phase 3.
That was just
Now they
stupid.
reverted it, and the only difference is that you can still see enchants on the table. So you can still choose which enchants have a 1/3 chance for that extra level. So you
Are
can
you
still
sure?
choose.
Yeah,
Are you
so
sure it's not?
I am absolutely sure.
Okay.
that's the reason why Enchanting is just so good, and it's always going to be good because Enchanting is good. Vanilla Enchanting, like, that's
Enchanting
like,
is the way to progress.
yeah, I mean, like, even in vanilla, if you look at late game progression, like, if you're like fighting Ender Dragon and stuff, you don't stop at just diamond armor. You know, you go for the enchanting, and that's what makes you exponentially better than a non-enchanted person. So
Yes,
that's why enchanting is
I
so nutty. Yeah.
wholeheartedly agree.
Exactly.
Alright, so I guess we're moving on.
Yeah.
Alright, Engineer. So Engineer I'm putting in C tier because there's so many better ways to scale a wall. Dasher got added, or not added, but like changed to where you can do it better. It makes a bunch of sounds, and you have a full 7 seconds to disarm it. I've seen so many people try to use this class, and they always fail. I always type in chat, don't use Engineer, and people still use it.
Like, come on, man. At least Civilian has stone tools. You know what I'm saying? Like, Engineer without
has
his
a stone
bomb.
sword.
Yeah,
You know, they should
Engineer
change it
without
to,
his bomb is just gone.
they should
Engineer
change
without
it
his
to
bomb
6
is
seconds.
just trash.
They can always rebuild it too. Builder is a counter to this
Yeah.
class rather than the other way around because they changed Engineer from Annie
Yeah.
2.0.
It's just, yeah.
They should change it to 6 seconds, actually. Or 5.
6? More like 4.
Maybe
Yeah.
if you had a whole team of enchanters, just go enchanter at like one time, and then just all go at once, and so they can't possibly disarm all of it. I mean, maybe, but that takes too much coordination, too much time. Like, but that would be fun to see. I mean, I would
Just
love
get
to see
someone with
that in game.
knockback swords and try to keep them away.
Yeah, just knock them all away.
Someone will just break through the wall and just disarm it in the time that it took for them to register that it's there.
Yeah, enchanting
Yeah.
does work. All right, fuck engineer.
Alright, well, here we go. Best class ever. Farmer. C tier.
All right.
It's getting changed in the next update, so I don't know
It
what
should, yeah. We
say
probably
about
shouldn't
this.
talk about it much. I say C tier rather than B last time because gapples are nerfed and rip.
Yeah, right now it sucks, but hopefully it'll be better.
But I mean,
Please
if
give
you have
me
like
more.
20 gapples,
Nah, dude.
You got
Let's
20
move on.
gapples. You're just giving gapples to the other team at that point. Because they'll just kill you and then use the rest of the gapples.
Yeah.
That's honestly what will happen.
Alright, so Handyman. This is something that I analyzed myself, so I think I'm going to talk the most for this one because Handyman I'm putting in B tier, and here's why. When you think about damage in the early game, the numbers don't add up for you to want to use Handyman rather than just Minor Rush. Because Minor Rush you can get a lot more hits in, approximately like 2 to 3 if you get like around like what 10-ish seconds before someone attacks you. So basically the math adds up to where it's more worth it to get Minor and damage rather than get Handyman and possibly get 1 or 2 heals. Or maybe 0 even. Like a lot of the time I just get 0 and I've hit the Nexus for like 8 tries rather than the 12 I could have gotten with Minor. It's a lot of the time it's inconsistent, so not worth it. You
Yeah,
need a coordinated team for it to
for
work.
sure.
maybe you
Because-
should get some unbreaking or FSC2.
Yeah, I mean, you can get punished by RNG sometimes. Like, sometimes Handyman is amazing, but most of the time it's not just because of that, like, percent chance, because of that probability. And so, like, overall, you're not going to do as well as other classes if you just wanted to get more hits in.
I'd say
Because those
it'd be
heals...
worth it. It'd be worth it if they changed it to where, like, the wood pick, like, I know it's not meant to mine iron early, so the wood pick you get, like, efficiency 2 or 3. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something
like that.
Something to, like, make the numbers add up more.
Yeah, and something to just give it more depth. Like, right now, it's like, all right,
Miner
crappy
is not
kid,
meant...
but you have the bonus. The heal bonus.
I feel like Miner was not meant to be the default, like, leather rushing class. Same with Civilian. Like, I feel like Handyman is supposed to be the default like leather rushing class of the
It's
game.
supposed to be like the
And it doesn't
premier
add up.
rushing class. Yeah, but like, why do Handyman? You can do Assassin because Handyman just doesn't have that many.
Or Miner if you don't
have that
have
much
any gold
benefits.
picks.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Yeah.
Handyman definitely needs work. I think if you up the probability chance and then maybe nerfed it more late game, that might be better. Or just something like, honestly, it's just flat. I guess it's the best way to explain it.
You can say that twice.
So, I'm going to move on because we don't have the best amount of time. So, healer I'm putting at A for now. It heals a lot. It can help someone from dying. Basically, like, it keeps someone from dying in a lot of cases that I've seen. If you have a healer with you, then you can basically get your life saved once, maybe even twice, because the cooldown is low whenever you use the 2.5 heart heal, but then you can use the long range heal to get yourself back up to full if you're doing bad in a fight.
Yeah, so
that's actually really OP.
Yeah, essentially.
You don't even need to coordinate. You just need someone, like, you yourself just need to be a healer and just randomly run around with someone. Like, that's all you really need to do.
Yeah, straight up, the other team needs to target the healer, target you and, the healer before they really want to succeed in this team fight. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
healer is just good. It's just, it's a great support. I mean, it can heal, like, say you have a tank, like, straight, like, full, protection, like, sharp 5, whatever, just going in, tanking hits, and then, like, it takes a while to get a full prop 4 guy down, right? But even when they get that down, if that healer heals up, think of the other people fighting, just like, well, rest in peace,
Yep.
That's how it is. Healer is good, so you have to target the healer, or else you're going to be in trouble, especially late game.
Yep. All right. Hunter sucks. C tier.
Hunter got C
tier.
By Wizard.
Yeah,
Next.
literally. Okay, by Wizard or by, what was it? What was the other class that slows people? Iceman? Sure, Iceman's better.
Yeah,
whatever.
sure. Even Iceman is better. Like, you could do so much more with Hunter.
Immobilizer kills people too.
Yeah, you could do so much more with Hunter.
Yeah.
The trap idea is so good. I love the trap idea.
Instead of sitting around with traps, go ahead and play Civilian and get some iron.
Maybe get it
because,
less
like, the
visible.
problem here is that a lot of times the traps don't work on certain tiles, so it's not extremely flexible at the moment.
Yeah.
Second, when you put it on the ground, 2 of the traps are already overshadowed by other classes, which, conceivably just is the wizard. The wizard in general is better for all these things.
I think you could do some cool stuff with it, like,
Thor
like
puts on
nausea
more
trap,
GPS.
like, yeah, I mean, like, give it something else, give it more variety. Just, I like the trap idea, but you just need to do something with it, you know what I'm saying? Instead of having, rehashed bad versions of other classes with the traps, make, like, new, interesting ones, like, I don't know. There's different potion effects in 1.9 you can use, right?
Give it some more quality of life changes so that it isn't so hard to use.
That too. Like, if you can't use it on certain tiles, it's kind of useless.
Guys, I'm not gonna lie. I tried to use this kit so much in the game in Andorra. I felt almost every time.
Me too.
Same.
I've tried this kit a lot on Coastal. And
Like,
even
I love it.
even
but
disguising
can't.
it on the netherrack and disguising it on the stone and stuff like that. And like it's completely invisible. No one could tell there's a trap there, but it still doesn't like 100% do it for me.
It doesn't even have the wolf, man. So sad.
The blast trap is the only saving grace that keeps this from being a decent class, in my opinion. And some other like swapper traps are insta death. Why don't you just go swapper? You know. It
I
takes
mean, if
less
you,
it honestly takes less setup than a hunter trap trying to put
I
in the right
mean,
spot.
if you gave Hunter the DPS increase with like a wolf, I actually think that'd be kind of cool. Just an idea.
They
Just an
can't do
idea.
mobs right now. We've already, I
Um,
think Merg already confirmed that they can't do mobs.
I was thinking of like
Yeah.
Old Hunter. Like you had Old Hunter where like you had the wolf and then it would attack you, and then if it got killed, it would respawn after a certain amount of time.
Right.
I love that. I loved playing Hunter, Old Hunter.
Well,
But
unfortunately, that's
if
gone,
that's
and
how
now
it
we
is,
have
right?
this. You know.
Okay,
We have
if that's what happens, then that's alright. That's how
Alright.
it is then.
So,
Iceman.
Iceman. Yeah,
Iceman.
Iceman's the next class. So my thought is that not a lot of places have, like, not a lot of maps have water, but some do. So Iceman B+. I'm putting it there. The main reason, other than that, is that the slow chance is very small, and you only get effectiveness on water on the map. So you have to always be, like, usually water is near mid on most maps, so you have to put yourself in danger and out in the open to be able to use it correctly.
Yeah, I mean, like Alchemist is very situational, but it's very good
You can
in those
definitely
situations.
do some range from this. I've seen that before.
Yeah, I
think,
mean, like chasing too, chasing people in the water. Iceman's great for all
People
those
can
things.
jump on your platform though, which is scary.
Yeah,
I think Iceman should be on A actually. You
A?
know, Coastal and Canyon are the most played maps, and I think people mostly use Coastal I mean Iceman in Coastal. So I think maybe A.
I mean, this is true. That's more of the population thing, though. That's more of like map selection than the class itself, I think.
Yeah, if this was EU, I feel like this wouldn't be as good at all because, you know, the EU obviously makes a lot better choices map-wise. Like they like mix it up and stuff like that. US of course has Coastal, Canyon, Cherokee, the 3 Cs, I think is what we call them.
The three.
Yeah,
I'm gonna keep it here for now. If I don't
Yeah.
think there's really any class we can compare it to
yeah.
kind of, I mean, all right, when we look at the classes later, we'll figure it out because that's where, because obviously if something is better than, or no, if Iceman's better than something else in B+, then we can move it up.
I mean,
'Cause-
I love for Iceman to be more of a B class, just because it gets played so much. Just because of these maps that get played so much.
yeah,
I wish that, we have a great map rotation. We have a lot of awesome maps, but for some reason, I guess the crowd loves Coastal Canyon. So,
all right, so I'm putting Immobilizer A+. This is one of the defensive classes I talked about before, and I think before I was too lenient with how, it can be A tier, stuff like that, like how balanced it was. I think that it actually is slightly unbalanced after thinking about it. Its mining fatigue is definitely the thing that brings it up above
Oh,
A.
yeah.
Because you just basically stand next to the Nexus and stop anyone from mining it, and it can get broken every once in a while.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Defender. What does Defender have? Early game has no regen, and it has a Pearl, but it's not even going to use that Pearl because he's defending in the Nexus probably, if he wants
He
to
can
defend
teleport
in the
back
Nexus.
after he dies to attack, to be able to
Yeah.
have 2 lives.
Yeah, but like only after he dies, right?
Right.
But that even still that takes time, right? Because he loses all the stuff too. If you look at Immo has the mining fatigue, it has the Immo, and it's gonna be in the Nexus anyways.
So A
Definitely
plus.
it's more team oriented and it stops late game rushes better than defender.
Yeah. Immo Merc's always been good. It has a lot of combos with others synergizing. So if you have a good group, it can be really
Yep.
powerful. It is really powerful. You see it all the time.
All right, Lumberjack to A tier is my next choice. Early game it's decent, but when you think about it, you basically already brought someone down to low health if you're able to get rid of their armor in the early game. And then late game, it's mostly good for defensive, sort of late game, destroying their diamond armor type stuff.
Yeah. Hidden OP. Lumberjack. Hidden OP.
Yeah, but diamond armor takes like a long time.
Long
It's easy
time.
to get Unbreaking 3 in
Yeah.
your armor.
I don't know. It
Yeah.
can be decent also for like I feel like this is a variety class where you can also use it for defensive structures, mid base. You can do a lot with it.
Yeah. I mean, like, durability, though, I mean, Lumberjack's very good for that. And even though Lumberjack itself may not get the kill, it contributed to breaking the armor for the team to get the kill. So I think Lumberjack, yeah, I mean, lots of wood too.
All right. So speaking of
It's
Mercenary,
also good for defending.
Yeah,
yeah.
sure wood.
Speaking of Mercenary,
Oh.
what do we think? S tier?
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
Yep.
maybe. Yeah.
Well, I mean the damage
S plus.
basically
No,
here.
let's
Here I can
go for
quickly
S.
explain what happened to the class. So I think before it had the percentage damage, and then for some reason there was a flat true damage added to it somewhere, and that
yeah,
flat true
I
damage
don't
got
know
taken out.
why. Yeah, that
Yeah,
true
the flat
damage
true
was
damage got
nutty.
taken out, so it's just the percentage. It's still really good, but it also has the glow effect now. And that could be a huge deal late game. Like, Mercenary can decide games at this point.
I agree.
Yeah, you kill a strong, tough guy.
Invis
Berserk,
people.
A strong
you
top.
get their armor. I mean, that's
Yeah.
a game changer. I
You
mean,
can also spot spies now.
exactly. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
who hasn't played Merc and just spam right click everywhere while they're defending,
No one.
and then like got on a spy or something, and then just been like, oh hey look, here's a spy number one, right? Or like
Yeah.
here's a guy sneaking to our base number one, and two, now he takes increased damage, and three, he's like lit on fire so everyone can see him and just goes and kills him. It's good.
Yeah. All right. So minor A plus. Just typical minor.
typical minor.
it's- The reason I would say A plus instead of A, even though like it's only really good early game if you do the math. The other thing you can do is we talked about those leather rushes earlier, and minor
Yeah.
statistically is the best for this.
All right, straight up, we play Minecraft. It's minor. I mean, A plus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Pyro, top 5 PvP class. I'm putting it in S.
Hmm.
Pyro. Yeah,
I mean,
it
Pyro's
has.
DPS is the highest in the game. It has like 37% chance for fire. Like it either procs on the first hit or the second hit. So your enemy's already on fire and disoriented. You know.
It has so many abilities. It has the fire arrows. It has the fire sword. It has the fire active ability, and it has fire resistance. I mean, it's literally
It controls everything about fire.
yes.
Every 30, I think. Is it 30 or 40 seconds for the ability? I thought it was 40.
Something like that.
What I
You
like
could-
about Pyro.
Yeah. You make fire in a radius. You can also shoot fire arrows, which, I mean, this isn't even a bow class, but it can rival that of the archer.
Yeah,
It
and the
can
fire
rival
arrows are one.
DPS.
And the fire arrows are 100% chance of being on fire.
Yeah.
You know,
This
the
nerf
sword is 100%, but it's an automatic fire aspect enchant. Like,
Yeah. There's a
Yes.
lot of
Yes.
fire going around with this class. It's crazy.
It's really good defending against Invis when you're both spamming in coastal
Yeah.
with fire.
Don't do that.
What?
Postman.
You didn't hear that. Okay, Riftwalker. Speaking of useless, what do we think of Riftwalker?
I mean, it recently got buffed, so I think it's pretty good.
I
No,
think
it actually.
I still think it's B tier.
Yeah, I agree with you.
The main,
I mean, it's not useless.
it's not as good as using a transporter anymore. It has better, it has some usage. Like, they didn't fix any of the quality of life changes that needed to be fixed. Like, you still don't know where anyone is when you teleport to them. You need a team to coordinate it. And once again, that's another definition of lower tier classes, is you need more people to make it work.
Yeah.
And like the teleport back to base is nice and all, but it's still like a timer. You can't escape anything from doing it. It's just basically the only way use for the class right now is a faster way to travel than scout. And that's basically it.
Yeah, not saying that it can't be good, but you need a lot of other different things for it to be successful. And I think that's the thing that drags it down the most. You need a lot of people who coordinate with you and you coordinate with them, and a lot of people who are listening. And that's hard in a random pug. So
But Riftwalker is actually really good for rushes. Actually, if an Invis guy is hiding in a base, and you're just splashing Invis before you rift him, and you kill the team in 3 seconds.
yeah, straight up, like if you have, yeah, but
You have to
that's
wait
the thing.
outside
It
the
takes
nexus
coordination.
radius.
Yeah, it takes coordination and it takes different things, and it can be good. I'm not saying that it can't be good. It can be really good, especially with like what you said with the Invis teleport. I mean, you
Again,
just get like
Handyman
half
can
your
be really
team
good
in.
too.
Yeah, I mean, like these classes can be really good, except for some like Sorry Farmer, but they can be really good. You just need those right elements
Yeah,
and those right synergies.
that's a good
So-
way to put it.
Nice.
All right, so here we go, guys. Robin Hood, new class.
Oh, okay.
All right,
Now
I'm ready
we
to
go.
talk about this because I
Please.
really want to tell everyone what I think about this class.
Yeah,
I think it sucks. It
It's
goes
an
to
F
B
tier.
tier. It goes to B tier. Now,
Yeah.
here's my problem, okay? So now we can talk about all of the archer classes. So Sniper, you're gonna get over here too.
Yeah.
So here's the archer class, not suggestion, but discussion. So there's early, mid, and late. At the moment, Archer and Robin Hood are the only two that are decent in the early game. Why? Because Sniper, you need to be able to farm arrows, and you use 2 every single time. So it's the most costly with arrows. It's just not worth it for sustain in the early game. It'd be better to just have the safety from Archer or to be able to farm with Robin Hood. Now, here is my problem with Robin Hood at the moment. It takes a long time for you to ascend levels. I've tried it before a lot of times, and it usually takes a good 10 minutes before I get to tier 1 or tier 2. And I rarely make it to tier 2 because scouts and acrobats, there's so many things that can happen in this game. You can die to scout. There's some things you just can't escape in this game, and that's why even the best players die.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I always target the Robin Hood. Like, look, I'm a leather scout, I'm a leather acrobat. Like, what am I gonna do? Just like run at this
Get
Robin
weakness,
Hood?
so you
Like,
can't
sure,
fight
I'll
it.
get killed, but I'll damage him a bunch of times. Why not try to kill the Robin Hood and just make his life suck?
You can't fight it because you have weakness. So, if you do, however, fail, and it's it's phase 2. If it's phase 2 and you're down to tier 0, then don't even bother, because by the time it's at the end of phase 3, everyone of your targets are gonna be full iron, and
Yes.
you're not gonna have the bow power for it.
Straight up, just go Enchanter, get yourself like a fine bow, and go Archer.
Yeah, well, get a good bow, and here's my next point. All right, this is where I'm not gonna place Sniper yet. I'll place it after the next 2, but Sniper I think is the best way to go when it comes to mid to late game archers, because you can get like the distance. I've tried it; it's really good. The distance
Yes.
that you can shoot is insane.
Oh yeah, it's like a
It's
laser
very
beam.
easy to aim, very simple. You don't have to have gravity for your advantage. You can just straight up shoot someone in the face. It's really
It's
simple to
crazy.
use. You can get a lot more damage off by just going sniper instead of just aiming and hoping with archer.
Yeah, and the arrow shoot, the arrow trajectory is very well coded. It's
The
very
only
good.
the only thing is that you need to sustain yourself as a sniper to be able to use it correctly. Infinity bow would be great. I've actually tried it with an infinity bow before. It basically gets rid of some of your dura. If you have infinity and unbreaking, then you can snipe for a long time.
That's not, yeah. So if you have a god bow, then just go sniper.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you just stand at that coastal mid base or whatever, just pick off people.
So I'd say early game viable classes: Archer, Robin Hood. Mid game viable classes:
Yeah.
Archer Archer if you have leather. Robin Hood only if you're at like tier 2 already.
Sniper gets a big power spike late game.
And yeah,
Big power
and
spike.
sniper if you have a really good bow. But if you don't have a good bow, then just go archer. And then
Yeah.
late game, get yourself a good bow because sniper will be great for that. If not, then I guess archer if you want to just knock people back.
Yeah, straight up.
Hyper is one of my favorite changes, actually. I really like it.
So I'll play sniper after this, and then we won't really need to be discussing sniper. So whenever I place it, I'll just tell you. So Scorpio. Scorpio, I think, is going to be A+ for now. I think it's better than the average PvP class, but it has some difficulties to it. There are some places where you just can't aim with it. Swapper is like instantaneous, while Scorpio obviously gives you a better advantage if you can hit it, but it's way high skill cap than any other PvP class in the game because you have to hit the hook.
Yeah. I mean, if you get it, if you hit the hook, then it's very powerful. I mean, if you look at someone like the best, I think in my opinion, Annihilation players, like
Kit Power is really good.
yeah, Kid Power, exactly. Like, who else? Okay, yeah, Kid Power.
Come on, man.
What about Guiga? Guiga's
Yeah,
good.
Guiga's alright. Okay, I mean, but if you look at very skilled Scorpio players, they can make or break a team fight. So definitely Scorpio is good.
Scorpio's good. Yeah.
I like it.
I feel like it's not as powerful as it could be because of the 1.9 hit detection change. You can't hit people as fast. You might miss them. It's just sometimes you can get disoriented and it's just not fun.
Yeah,
Not to
like
talk about.
yeah, the new 1.9 hit detection is all about comboing. So like Scorpio, if you get the combo in, then it's really good.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
I like the offhand though. The offhand works well with it.
Offhand Scorpio, best quality of life change ever.
So, alright guys, so once upon a time, there was this little class called Scout.
Oh god.
Oh my
And,
god.
so then it was really bad, but then they buffed it, and it never got nerfed. Well, fairly nerfed again. And so now we're here 3 years, 4 years later. I don't know how long.
Send me
And
back to
Scout is
2013,
still
man.
S+.
Oh.
Oh, Scout. I mean, they tried to nerf it, actually.
Alright, so
They
who wants
tried.
to take their turn at jabbing Scout real quick?
I mean, there's nothing else to say. Scout just it's terrible.
Alright, Alex, you
I
can go
think
first.
I think it deserves to die in a hole, but that's just
What?
You can go first. Talk about Scout for a minute real quick.
Well, I really don't like it because it's still really OP. And the only way to counter is with Pyro, nothing else.
I think your mic's cutting out, mate.
Pyro and...
yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear
You hear me?
a little bit. Yeah, I can hear
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I
yeah.
think they nerfed it by not scouting when you're on fire, but I mean,
That really isn't. It doesn't help. I mean,
yeah,
I
it really.
felt like this was a disappointment this time
Yeah,
around.
I mean, hate is a strong word, but I hate the scout class. I 100%
I
hate
mean,
it.
if Pyro was like B plus tier and it sucked or whatever, I feel like there'd be tons of protests to this change.
But what I
that,
don't like,
it just so happens that it's one of the better classes in the game.
I don't. Everyone is using it right now, like everyone.
It makes the game
Yes.
very boring, I will
I
say that.
mean,
The
like,
combination of the maps being the same and Scout being the only class used is making the game boring for me.
yeah. Well,
That's
it's kind
why
of
I've delayed this
yeah,
for so
yeah.
long.
It's kind of like this.
Yeah.
You use scout, you get a lot of kills. You're the cool kid. You're flying around with a little fishing rod. Killing people who try to play other classes, make them rage quit and stuff. Or you play the other class and get farmed. I mean, what are you gonna choose? What are you gonna pick? Scout is just too good. It's just too good. So much mobility, and that's the thing that makes it. It's not a crazy complicated class. It just has
I think
so much mobility.
as closing words, I feel like Scout. It's just ridiculous that Scout hasn't been nerfed at all. Like I've heard, so I can tell you real quick a quote from Murgatron from the after the second testing. So he said that Scout is. He said that Scout he would consider one of the classes that they feel like they've nailed. Where like it's really fun and people really like using it. So they're trying to find other ways other than ruining the class to kind of nerf it down. But I feel like I should just disagree because, like, in a way, a lot of the love towards this class has come from people getting free XP, free wins, free kills with it. And it just gets out of hand to a point where you can't stop the train of people liking this class unless you just cut it off somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, like,
do you have a nerf for Scout, Guiga?
Well, there's my second thread coming up after this. I always do this in 2 parts, and a few weeks after this, I'll have a thread for this.
Oh, the mega
vertical grappling.
There's so many of those, but I think that ruins the gameplay, so I don't think they're gonna do it. So
Yeah,
we'll think
for
of something
sure.
else. Anyway, I had put Sniper at A tier. I think we'll agree, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. Spider, A tier.
Mm.
I feel like it's balanced now. The vine change isn't the most incredible, but I think the spider web change is huge.
Oh
Because
yeah, throwing cobwebs.
With
So
good-
nice.
with with good accuracy and good mechanical skill, you can make this class work. It can be risky because you can miss or you could hurt your teammates with it. But at the
Yeah.
same time, there is the special trick now where you can throw it below you and you can avoid all fall damage with it.
Yeah, we tried it.
Definitely akin to Scorpio and its high skill cap, high reward. So high reward, but like with defending even, you have a big tough guy, solo rusher or whatever, slow him down a bunch, and then have your team help you kill him. Like
Yeah.
cobwebs can just totally negate their rush. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Totally
I
stop
would like
all
to
that
see.
momentum.
I'd like to it's so hard to judge this class already because no one uses it for some reason, but I would like to see where it goes in the future.
Yeah.
Just say.
All right, so Spy, I'm putting it B plus again. Nothing huge other than the Mercenary change, but then again, you're not always gonna have a Mercenary somewhere.
Yeah.
So
Well, always in late game. I'm just saying. Everyone
Yeah.
uses Mercenary in late game.
that's true. But
Well, what if
Spy,
everyone's playing Scout, Alex? What are you gonna do then?
Well,
I think just Assassin overshadows Spy.
Yeah.
Defensively speaking, you're gonna want to go the other 3 defensive classes above Spy. You might get a few free hits, and that could be useful. But I mean, in general, Spy is just not as good.
if Mercenary just gets no, never mind. I had something, but I don't think they are going to change Mercenary again.
Definitely spy trolling tier, A plus.
It's fun.
You can troll
Yeah.
people so hard. Yeah.
All
Just
right.
think of just sitting in their base, just like chilling, and like no one even knows, you know?
So this
No one
I
even
think is
knows.
where me and Alex stopped our pre-discussion about this. But Succubus now, I'm putting it in B plus.
Succubus.
I'm putting Succubus over, say, Bloodmage and say, like, Robin Hood. The main I mean, here's the thing. People say it's the worst class. It's not. Like, it's underrated, but it's funny because even though it's underrated, it's still not good at all. Um, you
Underrated and
think
bad.
it's underrated and bad, which is kind of funny because that's how Annihilation is nowadays. Like, Robin Hood was
Shoot.
overrated for a while, and now it's super bad.
Uh,
I'd say Hunter's probably the most overrated bad class out there because people will try to defend it, but
yeah.
Succubus at the moment, it can be good. It can be really good if you can time it right. There are some situations where it could, but hold on. Well, Thor though. Think about it, Thor.
Thor. Oh, that's a great class, actually. You get
Think about it
resistance
for a
and
second.
knockback.
Thor has just more to offer in general. You still get some damage, but you know,
You get knockback
get knocked back too.
and resistance.
But we're not here to talk about Thor for a second. We'll get
Yeah.
to that in two more. But
Yeah. Thor can wait a couple
Succubus.
classes.
But Succubus, like, there needs to be something happening to it. Actually, you know what? I'm putting it in B tier.
Straight up demoted.
Screw it.
Mid video, straight up demoted.
Screw it. You know,
Yeah, B tier is alright.
I can't think of any reason anymore to put it in B plus.
Yeah.
It's just not good.
We're trying so hard to like make it seem okay, but like no, you can't.
All right. Well, I tried, guys.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Swapper.
Yeah, it's definitely a strong kit. I like it.
It's decent. I think it's decently strong. I want to put it either an A or B plus. Now, my reasoning is because defense, like this is basically a defense class. Otherwise, you're gonna have a risk of being shot at mid or any other place.
Wait.
Yeah. It's kind of like a
feel like
50-50
A or
a
B.
bit.
I feel like either A or B plus because, like, defensively speaking, it isn't as good as just going as Mercenary, Immobilizer.
Yeah,
Defender might even be better.
I think B plus. B plus.
Yeah.
I've
I
seen
mean,
it.
if you look at Swapper at mid, right? Think of Swapper at mid. You are swapping someone and trying to make him overextend, like making them overextend so that your team can kill them, right?
Yeah.
Well, the thing with swappers, the cost is you overextend into their side.
Yeah.
And so you get killed, but hopefully you want that trade-off to be a higher, better trade-off. And so
Yeah.
that's why it's risky and it takes skill and you can't just use it easily. Yeah, I think B plus.
I'm putting it there because, I feel like I've seen a couple games where I was with, I think, Radio or something like that, Radioactive,
Yeah.
and he was playing Swapper, and he was right outside base on Coastal, and I was just playing Defender, and every time the kills came to me because they got past him, Like,
Yeah.
I
Full
feel
riot.
like Defender is just a better failsafe for defending, and that Swapper, like, if you want to use it for attack, that's cool, but there's way better ways to get inside. Assassin, Dasher. I can name a lot.
Yeah. Look, what happens if you swap a scout with a shovel at mid? The scout's gonna break through your trap, or like with shears or something. Break through your trap, skedaddle. Like, you can't do anything about it.
Obsidian
And then
Trap,
your whole,
though.
yeah, and like literally your whole, like, everything you put in, all that work you put in to get that scout in that position, you just wasted. It's just gone. So,
Yeah.
And so, yeah, especially I think it's the same thing with Builder. Like, the more people learn about how to play around Swapper just by playing Annihilation more, the less power it has. Because, like, more people are just going to go to mid with a shovel
Yep.
or some shears if they
Shears.
see a Swapper or something. So, unless it's, like,
Alright.
straight Obsidian. If you're Obsidian, then you're a real OG Swapper. But,
Yeah.
It takes skill. It takes hard. It takes a lot of.
Or maybe gravel.
Gravel traps. Oh god.
Oh jeez. Low key illegal, but you know, just
Well, I mean, yeah.
getting there.
Half gravel, half obsidian.
Yeah.
You know the deal. So now Thor. I'm placing Thor in an A+.
I think
I think it's very good. I think it's better. It's definitely better than balanced at the moment. Because before I had placed it at balanced, and then it got a huge buff. So I don't know what to say. You know, I thought it was balanced before.
Yeah.
Now you can do the damage, you can do the knockback, and you can get the resistance. And the combination of these three is a great combo for it.
Thor is just good. This is a little off topic, but I've always wanted to do the wombo combo of like Bloodmage, Thor, Suck. You know what I'm saying? Like you Bloodmage them, you Thor them, you hit them like twice, and then Succubus them. I always wanted to do that, just like straight wombo combo or something. But
Yeah.
maybe
You,
later.
can-
Yeah,
you
Thor
can definitely use Thor now to knock them into the wall if you want to do that. Because mine
Knock
rushing
back.
is... Thor can now be one of the best mine rushing classes ever.
Yeah.
Like, if you're playing 8v8 competitive, you can definitely do that. with
Especially.
Thor.
I mean, like 2.5 hearts of true damage, dude. Can't beat that.
Yeah, it's really good. It's also in a radius, so if you're using it in the correct spot, it could turn a fight.
Oh yeah.
All right. So
Thor, too good.
Speaking of buffed classes, Tinkerer to A+.
For sure.
A+.
I think we talked about
For
that
sure.
too
I
already,
like.
but yeah,
Well, I mean,
those buffs,
alright,
long
so-
buffs.
Yeah, 20 seconds for the tier 2 buffs and 45 seconds for all the others. Oh wait, 20 seconds for the absorption though. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely really good for base defending, for placing down at mid. You can place down stuff in mines. The only cost is that you lose stuff when you die, and that's basically it. Otherwise it'd be, I don't know, it feels like it could be higher. You know, if you got
I
all
think
those
it's
back.
really balanced actually.
Yeah, it's good.
I mean, I think what broke it for me from A to A+ is that you can now step on power pads whenever you want.
Yeah. Also
Yeah.
because its
You
counterpart
can control
Bard
that
is so
buff now.
bad. I think also because Bard is so bad. So like if you're looking for like a support, another support class like besides healer, you know, Bard is just not good, and Tinker is just so good. So
Yeah.
why
Yeah,
wouldn't
dude.
you choose Tinker? Did you know how people have different ideas about like Annihilation? Like some people are like, oh, I want to PvP. Some people are like, oh, I want to defend. Or some people are like, oh, I want to support my team. And so like,
Someone-
you have the healers and Tinkers. Not so
Some
much
people want
Bard.
to troll.
Oh yeah, well that too. Some people want to team grief, but
So
you know, I don't know what class is great for that. What class is great for team grief?
Spider.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's what the kids are using nowadays. Actually no, Civilian. Civilian's good for team griefing.
Oh yeah, Civilian's pretty
Oh.
good for Sid Break. All right, next class.
I thought they already fixed that.
Yeah, I'm glad.
All right. So Transporter A. Main
I think
reason-
it's really balanced. Yeah, I think the
Yeah.
it's really good. So A.
There can be times where it fails and times where it doesn't. Some maps are better than others, but like there is preparation for this class, even though it's very powerful. So
Nothing to say about it actually.
I mean, Transporter. It's Transporter. You help your
Yeah.
team. You get them move large distances. Transporter rush, all that stuff. Nothing changed too much other than the death. So no more slash
dying
kill,
with
but
inactive portals.
I mean,
that was
slash
what
kill is
was
pretty
keeping it up.
cheesy anyways, honestly. Like, I always felt dirty when I would just place an inactive portal and just slash kill instead of, like, running back or doing anything. Like, I felt
You
so
dirty
dirty.
swipe.
I know. I was like, dude, this is so bad. Like, I'm cheating death, literally. I don't just literally place the portal, kill myself, and then place it back. Like, that took no work,
Wow.
you know.
You
But I
basically
did it.
clean yourself for a transporter.
Yeah. I confess. I
Alright.
confess.
So, oh god, Vampire.
God bless you.
What do we think about
Oh,
Vampire?
I love
Frankie?
Vampire. It's amazing. For
Yeah.
Kingdom, it's really, really, really
I
good.
think it's very weak at the moment.
Oh,
Oh,
come
yeah.
on.
Okay, like, look, don't get me wrong. It's so fun. Like, Alex, I love it. It's so fun. You fly around. You can, like, be a bat. I believe I can fly and stuff. You know, shout out to Missy. But, like, it sucks every other
It
time.
really does. You can only do it.
There's
3
no
times.
disagreeing.
You can either do it 2 to 3 times per night. If you get anywhere near light, so like it's mostly used for sky bridging. If you
Yeah.
place torches on your sky bridge, then you can stop it. Like straight up.
Yeah.
Or you can just make a glowstone block. Stop it, you know. Other than that, like you can't get into a lot of bases because they're lit up, you know.
Yeah.
Uh,
Less light, man.
I
More
mean-
vampires.
I mean, of course, the like going into caves and stuff like that and very low lit areas gives you what was it again? Resistance. But then again, Thor gets that, you know.
And
Yeah,
honestly, like, if
And
you're...
for most of the game, like half of the game, you're not gonna take any sort of like. Actually, I think night is shorter than day in Minecraft. Correct me if
Yeah,
I'm wrong.
it is. And
So
so,
you're,
like,
yeah,
even if you... Look, even if you play Vampire, who wants to play Annihilation, like, with it being dark all the time? Everyone's going to put torches and stuff. No one's to, like, play in the dark because they want to, like, actually fight people in the light when it's nighttime.
Only noobs make torches. I'm just saying.
yes, but
Well,
you
like,
can,
what
that is a
it meant was,
precaution you
like,
can take though.
yeah, but, like, just look at, like, all the light and all the maps. That's not even
Right.
placed by people.
If you-
They're not gonna... Yeah, like, look at Andor. Like, Andor has, like,
Canyon,
Yeah.
getting in Canyon Nexus.
yeah, Canyon Nexus. What else?
By the way, I can get in
Coastal.
Canyon really easy. Really, really easy. I'm
That's
just
because
saying.
you're a pro, Alex. I mean, you're a god. Like, none of us are denying that.
One
Yeah,
time
we're
I
you're
just
saying
went
that
up.
Vamp is bad.
I did so much damage. I'm just saying.
We're still
Yeah.
recording, you know.
Alright, next class.
We can have story time with Alex later.
I'm sorry.
All right. So Warrior, what do we think about Warrior?
It's good.
'Cause I'm
Balance.
torn between A plus and A.
I say A because what makes it any better than, like, Assassin or any other? I mean, the damage is good, Frenzy is good, it's pretty regular, but I think it does do less just because less damage in Annihilation now.
I think you can.
Overall.
Yeah, it relies on
melee
melee hits. I think that confirmable damage like Thor and Pyro. What else is up there? I mean, Scorpio confirms damage too. Archer has from a distance, so I think like
Yeah.
Archer's superior to Warrior.
What?
Yeah.
Warrior gives you wooden sword, so I think it's A.
Yeah.
A.
A.
If it gave you stone, A. 100%.
A is
Yeah.
a good spot for it. All right, final class, Wizard, E
Ah.
plus.
Great class. E plus. For sure.
A
I'm
lot
putting
of
it in
stuff.
plus.
Yeah. A lot
Slightly
of...
under the point balance because like some the cooldown can be long, other issues. Really, the buff to it didn't really help it like in terms of just balance in general, but it's like a nice touch.
Yeah.
You can
Wizard.
attack with Invis. Somebody did it and it went really well.
Just lots
I
of
mean,
preparation for that
yeah.
though.
Like, it's a little bit of everything, which I like, but sometimes the little bit
It
isn't
gets
enough.
outplayed by Pyro in terms of fire. Its missile is just weak in general. You could do better with Thor.
Maybe it should be A.
It's just a variety type of class that really
I mean,
doesn't-
it's cool. It's fun, definitely. I love playing it. It's so fun. You know, it's spells and stuff, but
the
don't know if
cooldowns
it's
are
that
pretty
great.
long.
yeah,
Pyro's
that's the only thing.
I think Pyro's is shorter than the actual like wizard fire.
I think my personal thing is if you made short cooldowns and less impactful spells, but you just send those spells out a lot, that'd be a lot more fun. You know what I'm saying? Just like
Yeah.
back and forth. Like while you're fighting, you just like like spamming too or
I
whatever,
would love to be
spamming your
a
spell.
spell slinger.
Yeah, that'd be so
The
fun.
whirlwind spell is really the only the saving grace for this class.
Definitely.
But now Thor actually has knockback 2, so you don't have to suicide to get someone off an edge. You can just use knockback 2.
Thor
Yeah.
too nice.
You have a point.
So yeah, Wizard B+. That's all right.
Skybridge is 2, but you can still
B+.
vampire up there, you know.
Wait, don't you think it's A? Like it's kind of balanced actually. A wizard.
Yeah,
I just think it's slightly under. It didn't really get much of a change, and last time I
Yeah.
had B+ on it.
If it has shorter cooldowns, maybe A. But
Yeah,
since the
that's true.
cooldowns are so long, like honestly, I played a lot of Wizard actually, and I loved it. But it's literally like, oh, okay, I used my whirlwind spell. I can't do anything. I'm just like a
You're-
regular guy for the next 30 seconds.
You're a civilian after you use your spell.
Yeah, and you're like, if you miss your spell, you're like, oh, well, shoot.
Damn it.
Now I'm useless.
You're literally a civilian.
Let's run.
Yeah, like, let's get out of here.
Alright, so that concludes where all of the things on the tier list go. So as you can see, things have actually changed from the last one quite a bit. There's a lot more classes in the balanced tier. I think comparing the overpowered to underpowered ratio, I think underpowered still is ruling out because there are 16 classes below A tier and 13 classes above A tier. So, I mean, of course there are some classes that are still dominating, like Acrobat, Scout, Mercenary, Pyro, and Enchanter. But there are still classes that are being neglected. In fact, the C tier did not change from last time at all, other than putting Farmer there instead of Healer.
I love the Dasher changes, though. I think Thor changes.
Dasher went from B to S really fast.
I think Thor changes a little too much, a little too overpowered. I don't know about knockback too. That's a lot. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know why people don't like Dasher right now. They really dislike it. Some people.
Well, look, Alex. Everyone loves classes that are not Scout right now. That's you can just ignore what everyone says in game. You know what I'm saying? Just ignore it. Just block it out. Don't even block it out of your eyes. You know what I'm saying? Just don't even look at it.
So I think this will conclude it. If you guys want to say some closing words, then go ahead.
Nah, thanks Riga for bringing me out here. Just talking about Annihilation classes and stuff. I love talking about it. And I look forward to the new Annihilation updates in the future, seeing where classes lay out.
Yep, hopefully Scout changes.
Yes,
Same to me. By the way, I can't wait for the second update of Annihilation. It is going to spice it up.
Yeah. I think all I really have to say is thanks for the updates, if the staff is watching at all. And please nerf Scout.
Great Scout.
It's been a while.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, hopefully this serves as a good guide for new players also, whatever classes you need to be buying at the moment, for veteran players, for basically anyone. Hopefully this is useful. For those of you who skipped to the end of the video, there are links in the description for all of the classes that we just talked about, to basically timestamps. You can do whatever you want with them. You can click on Scout and listen to my story or whatever it's called. And yeah, so
we'll timestamp Alex's short story, just a little snippet.
Yeah, so next time I do this, it'll probably be after an update or two, maybe just one more after the next update actually. But until then, I'll see you guys next time.
Later.
See you guys, Lineage OP.